I am not just telling you a history. I am telling you my history. The red soil of Benin runs in my blood. The Oba's legacy lives in my bones. Every name in this story, every bronze cast, every wall raised, every road that stretched beyond the horizon belongs to my people. I am a son of the Edo. And this is our story. Imagine you are a Portuguese sailor. The year is 1485. You have spent months at sea. You have sailed past endless coastlines of what Europeans call the Dark Continent. You expect villages. You expect mud huts. You expect nothing. And then you see it. A city. Not a settlement. Not a village. A city. Wide roads stretching further than your eyes can see. Houses built with such precision they put European architecture to shame. Walls so massive, so impossibly massive that when you try to measure them you give up. A royal palace so grand it takes your breath away. You are not in Europe. You are not in Asia. You are in West Africa. And what you are looking at is the Benin Empire. Welcome to Clip. This is part 1 of the Benin Empire series, the Nigerian kingdom that stunned the entire world. The story of Benin begins long before those Portuguese sailors arrived, long before Europe even knew this part of the world existed. Deep in the forests of what is now southern Nigeria, a people called the Edo had been building something extraordinary for centuries. They were farmers, traders, artists and warriors. They had a king they called the Oba, a ruler so powerful, so sacred, that ordinary people were not allowed to look directly at his face. The Oba was not just a king. He was considered divine. A living connection between the world of the living and the world of the ancestors. When he spoke, the entire empire listened. When he moved, the earth trembled. But it was not just the power of the Oba that made Benin extraordinary. It was what his people created. The bronzes. Deep in the royal palace of Benin, artists were doing something that would leave the entire world speechless for centuries. They were casting bronze sculptures of breathtaking beauty and complexity. Plaques depicting battles, ceremonies and royal processions. Sculptures of kings and warriors so realistic, so perfectly proportioned, that when European scholars first saw them in the 1800s they refused to believe Africans had made them. They said it was impossible. They were wrong. The Benin bronzes are today considered among the greatest works of art ever created by human hands. They sit in museums across the world, the British Museum, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, museums in Germany, France and America. But here is what most people do not know about those bronzes. They were stolen. And the story of how they were stolen, and why Nigeria is fighting to get them back right now, is one of the most powerful stories in African history. But that story comes later. First, we need to understand just how great the Benin Empire really was. In part 2 we step inside the city that stopped the Portuguese sailors in their tracks. A city so advanced, so powerful, so extraordinary that Europe had no words to describe it. Subscribe to Clip. Africa has 3,000 tribes and we are telling every single story. See you tomorrow for part 2.